Zamfara and Sokoto states on Sunday. The agency forecast the remaining parts of the north to be sunny throughout the forecast period. For the central region, Naimet said sunny skies with few cloud patches are expected over the region throughout the forecast period. For more details of the story, please visit the Daily Post newspaper.
Still on the Punch newspaper, Niger bandits kill scores, burn houses. Suspected bandits on Saturday attacked communities in Borgo local government area of Niger State, killing many people and abducting several others while setting multiple houses, including a police station, ablaze. It was gathered that the first attack occurred in Tunga Makere on Friday, where the bandits killed 6 residents and set homes on fire. The assailants reportedly moved to Paso on Saturday after encountering little resistance from security forces, burning more houses and a police station. The Niger State Police Command confirmed the raid but did not comment on the burning of the police station. Spokesman for the command, Wasiu Abiodun, said a joint security team had been deployed to the area to assess the situation and rescue victims. Well, for more insight on the story, please check the Punch newspaper with the headline Niger bandits kill scores, burn houses.
Still on the Daily Post, Kwara State government has reaffirmed its commitment to rescuing victims kidnapped during the February 3 attack on Woro community in Kayama local government area of the state. The Commissioner for Communications, Bolanle Olukoju, confirmed this in a statement issued in Ilorin on Saturday. She said the government was deeply concerned about a disturbing video released by terrorists allegedly showing some victims taken during the attack. Olukoju said officials were working with security agencies and stakeholders to analyze the footage and verify the identities of those shown. The Kwara State government is deeply concerned. Our thoughts are with affected families, and we reaffirm our commitment to securing the safe return of all victims. For more details of this story, please visit the Daily Post newspaper.
Opposition predicts implosion as APC sets for convention. Details says the All Progressives Congress has assured members and Nigerians that its forthcoming congresses and national convention will be transparent, credible, and reflective of internal democracy. APC Director of Publicity Bala Ibrahim, in an interview, expressed confidence that the upcoming processes would promote party unity and deepen grassroots involvement. In its updated timetable, the APC fixed February 18 for the World Congresses, while the National Convention is slated to hold from March 27 to March 28. Well, for more insight on the story, please check the Punch newspaper.
Still on the Daily Post newspaper, I have this headline: Argungu Festival signals return of stability in Kebbi, says Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu on Saturday said the return of the Argungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival reflects improved security and stability in Kebbi State and neighboring states. Tinubu spoke at the grand finale of the 61st edition of the festival held in Argungu, noting that the large turnout and organization of the event indicated renewed public confidence in safety. He said the federal government would continue efforts to address insecurity, including banditry and insurgency, and expand support for agriculture, tourism, and rural development. According to him, sustained collaboration between federal and state authorities remains key to maintaining peace and economic growth. The president also stated that Kirby plays a significant role in Nigeria's rice production and inland fisheries, adding that the federal government would continue to support farmers and fishermen through relevant interventions. For more details of the story, please visit the Daily Post newspaper.
Now, moving on to the Vanguard newspaper. Electoral Act tension as real time battle shifts to conference committee. In the corridors of power at the National Assembly, what should have been a routine harmonization of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill has transformed into a defining moment in Nigeria's democratic journey. Nigeria's fragile democratic confidence is once again under strain following the Senate's passage of amendments to the Electoral Act that stop short of mandating live electoral transmission of election results. With the 2027 general elections fast approaching, public pressure, protests, threats of mass actions, and vociferous demands from civil society have thrown the legislative process into a tense national focus. At the center of the storm is Clause 60, subsection 3 of the amended Electoral Act Bill, which now provides for both manual and electronic transmission of results but removes explicit reference to real time uploads from polling units, a key reform many Nigerians consider critical to credible elections. The House of Representatives had earlier passed the version mandating direct, real time electronic transmission to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) reviewing result viewing portal (IREV). The House says the clause must mandate real time electronic transmission of results, while the Senate initially resisted, which set up a political firestorm. The Senate, however, after public outcry, opted for a flexible model, citing concerns over possible network failures during election. Well, it is a long read, but for more details on the story, please check the Vanguard newspaper with the headline Electoral Act Tension as Real-Time Battle Shifts to Conference Committee.
Finally, from the Daily Post newspaper, I have this headline: Nigerian Army living symbol of our nation's unity in diversity, says the Defense Minister. Minister of Defense Christopher Musa on Saturday declared that the Nigerian Army represents the very identity of Nigeria, describing it as a living symbol of the nation's unity in diversity. Musa made the declaration at the 75th Army Headquarters Department and Command's West African Social Activities, WASA, marking the end of the 2025 training year in Abuja. He was represented at the event by his Special Assistant on Special Duties, retired Major General Henry Wesley. The minister said the Army remained the institution where Nigeria's ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity was most visibly reflected and harmonized. The Nigerian Army is a microcosm of the Nigerian state. There is hardly any institution where the cultures and traditions of our people are as widely represented, he said. Musa said that the annual Wasak celebration was a deliberate platform to recognize and celebrate the shared heritage of personnel, adding that such initiatives had strengthened unity, fostered cohesion, and deepened national identity within the ranks. For more insights into the story, please visit the Daily Post newspaper.
Kwara films as terrorists parade over 170 abductees. Tension has gripped Kayama local government area of Kwara State after its disturbing video released by terrorists surfaced online. The clip showed women and children said to have been abducted during the February 3rd attack on Woro and neighboring local communities. The footage, which began circulating on Facebook on Saturday, showed the victims arranged in rows in an unknown location. They were surrounded by armed men who spoke in Hausa while interrogating them. The terrorists are suspected to be a faction of the Jama'atu Ali Sunnah Lidawati, while Jihad, reportedly led by Saidu Abubakar, also known as Sadiko. In the video, two elderly women confirmed that they were abducted from Kayama. The captors were heard asking the women to identify their community, local government, and state. Well, the hoodlums asked the victims to look at how the government was pushing propaganda by claiming that those abducted were between 25 and 30. Well, for more insight on the story, please check the Punch newspaper.
Now I'm moving forward into the Royal newspaper. I have this headline: Tinubu government targeting opposition, shielding APC members, says ADC chieftain Cargo. A chieftain of the African Democratic Congress (ADC), Idris Kago, has accused President Bola Tinubu led government of targeting opposition members for investigations while shielding ruling APC politicians. Speaking on Trust TV, Kago questioned why there is a selective enforcement of investigations forced against opposition members in Nigeria. He said, why is it only ADC members who are being pursued? He further criticized what he described as a double standard, pointing out that members of the ruling APC appear immune from scrutiny while ADC members face arrest and investigations. For more insights into the story, please visit the Royal newspaper.
US military aircraft drops ammo in Borno. The details of the story says that following I beg your pardon, no fewer than three United States military aircraft landed in Nigeria between Thursday and Friday. The aircraft, as it was gathered, landed at military bases in Borno and other northeastern states. Senior officers at the defense headquarters disclosed that the aircraft carried ammunition sent to Nigeria by the American government. The officers, in separate interviews with correspondents, said the development was part of U.S. interventions to support Nigeria in the fight against insecurity. Following Nigeria US bilateral talks on security, the American government will not only deploy soldiers but also provide necessary logistics, including ammunition, to fight the insurgents, one of the officers who spoke on condition of anonymity said. Another high ranking officer explained that the delivery was part of operational logistics, noting that the military often requires replenishment of ammunition after operations. Well, for more details into the story, please check the Punch newspaper.
All right, now moving forward into the Nation newspaper, I have this headline: INEC consults over poll dates, Ramadan overlap. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is considering legislative intervention to address concerns raised by some Nigerians over the 2027 election timetable. The leadership of the House of Representatives has already summoned members for a session on Tuesday to deliberate on the election timetable. Spokesman of the House and Chairman of the House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Akintunde Rotimi, said yesterday that the House would deliberate on matters arising from the schedule of activities and timetable released by the Commission. The Conference Committee on Electoral Acts of the two chambers of the National Assembly had earlier been scheduled for tomorrow to resolve the issue of electronic transmission of election results adopted in the amendments to the Electoral Act. The Presidential and National Assembly elections are scheduled for February 20, while the governorship and state assembly polls are fixed for March 6. For more details of this story, please visit the Nation newspaper.
Now onto the Vanguard. Trump drew global attention to Middle Belt crisis, Danjuma. Former Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Theophilus Danjuma, retired yesterday, praised President Donald Trump of the United States for drawing international focus to the security challenges in the country's Middle Belt region. He observed that Trump's public statements on the situation in Nigeria, particularly the threats facing communities in the Middle Belt, have made the term Middle Belt a recognized part of global discourse. The international media took notice. Many were surprised, some puzzled, yet the conversation persisted. Today, the world is listening more closely to the realities of our region. For that awareness, we are grateful, Danjuma said. The other statesman emphasized that the heightened global scrutiny represents a positive development in highlighting the persistent violence, including former elder clashes, killings, and displacement that has plagued the Middle Belt region for years. Well, for more details, please check the Vanguard newspaper.
Still on the Nation, I have this headline: El Rufai under fire from over NSA phone tapping claim. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El Rufai yesterday drew flack from different quarters after publicly confessing to accessing an intercepted telephone conversation of National Security Advisor and Hesse Ribadu. The general view was that he should be probed and prosecuted for allegedly violating the law of the land. Al Rufai, speaking during an Arise television interview on Friday, had said he listened to the NSA allegedly instructing security operatives to get him arrested. He made the call because we listened to your call, the former governor told his interviewer. For more details of this story, please visit the Nation newspaper.
And finally, this morning on the Vanguard newspaper, terrorists go on the rampage, kill 26 in Niger, burn police station, abduct scores. Terrorists have reportedly invaded some communities in Bogu local government area of Niger, killing no fewer than 26 people. Besides those killed, some houses, including a police station, were set ablaze by the fully armed marauders. It was reliably gathered at the first incident occurred in Faye community of Bogu on Friday. The terrorists, said to be riding on motorcycles, came in their numbers and started shooting sporadically as they stormed the village, leaving the helpless villagers to scramble for their lives. At the end of the invasion, 6 persons were said to have been gunned down, and some communities in Bogu had been constantly raided by these terrorists in the past few months, with many lives and properties lost. Well, for more insights onto the story, please check the Vanguard newspaper. And that is all we'll be taking this morning on the Daily Rundown. Do join us tomorrow by 7 a.m. on Emirate 98.5 FM as we take you through the headlines in the top stories of the Nigerian newspapers. My name is Oluwadolapo Bamigboye.
And hi, I'm Treasurer Ajayi.
Saying good morning and have a blessed day.